What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Episode 9.
We have an edge rusher.
We do have an edge rusher. Very new, very thank you, Brad, for the courtesy. I didn't even see what
Give
we ended up giving up.
Zach, we gave up peanuts.
What we ended up giving up?
Next 2025 fifth, 2026 sixth. And we
That's
got him and a 2026 seventh back.
all right, so
So
we're
I think
chilling.
we won that trade by a
100%.
long shot. A long shot.
100%.
The Browns had to do it though. They're in a rebuild. They know they
Listen,
are.
they're in a rebuild, but they don't want to trade their key pieces, so it's kind of funny to me. Normally, when you go to a rebuild, I think you got to blow it up. There's no say,
Yeah.
Miles Garrett's been there so long, it's at the point where you're gonna have to get rid of him. I
I know
think
he would love to be in Detroit, bro. He
I
would love to
think
be in
I think he'd
Detroit.
rather be anywhere else, honestly. I don't think there's many worse situations than what Cleveland's doing right now, but
Carolina.
that's okay. It's cool. Um, I did not have a good week in picks compared to you.
Yeah, I had a really good week in picks. Like
You
a
balled
really good
out.
week.
You're etching ahead here, week by week,
Yeah.
but we do have a big slate this upcoming week, so we'll see who bounces back a little bit. But Evan did go 12-2. I went 10-4 in college picks this past week. I didn't have the update. I forgot to get the updated ones. Well, you're still ahead all time. I know that much though.
Oh yeah, 100%. You already know.
I think you're up by like 3 or 4 now, at least. It's been a rough
Not
season,
that
I think,
lot.
for me. But
Yeah,
um,
rough.
it's all about the
So
bounce back going to be
they're
crazy.
taking my
Just you
picks.
wait. Just you wait. Um, yeah. Let's talk about Michigan State first. Yeah. Just jump right
Michigan
in.
State. Just skip to next season already, bro. Indiana walked into East Lansing. The only good thing about the Indiana game was that we gave them, or we
I
yeah, I think we were the first team this season, like you were telling me, to be down in the game. And not only down, we were up by double digits.
We were up. It was
Then
10-0. And then
then
I
they
don't
came
think we
back in
scored the rest of the game.
47 unanswered. Jeez. It's like one. I feel like when I watch these games, it's like one bad thing happens and boom, that's it. Team just quits.
We blow ourselves, we shoot ourselves in the foot. That's the expression I'm looking for. We really do. They were we were playing great, right?
They were playing really good.
I was sober. I was hanging out. I was having a good time. They were playing great. And then it just all went down the drain.
To
Every ounce.
to to your point, yeah, we were playing good. Indiana was also playing really bad the first few drives too.
Mhm.
Then they kind of remembered how to play football and who they were. So,
But still,
but
it
yeah,
should not have been that bad, right?
yeah, 47 unanswered
We are
is
not a second half team. We really aren't. We play so bad coming the
we're
second
a
half.
first quarter team. That's about it.
Yeah,
We can give you about one good quarter of football. Then the rest is like, we'll see what happens.
I agree. It's
Which is so
terrible.
unfortunate.
It's
So
terrible.
that's nothing like the past Michigan State teams that we're used to, the past
Yeah.
good ones that we're used to.
Well, I mean, listen, since I've been here, they've not been too good though. Um,
I feel bad.
Unfortunately. But I do want to mention the AP rankings real quick. Oregon's still number one, Ohio State two. Um,
These are
no.
actually not the AP rankings, Zach. These are the first college football
Oh,
playoff
wait, I have them
rankings.
flipped. You are absolutely right. That is my bad.
Because in the AP, the AP still
Flip-flopped.
has Georgia at number
Yep.
2, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But Ohio State deserves to be number 2.
I agree. I listen, it makes me happy college football rankings are for the playoffs are coming out.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to look at right now. Um, but no, in terms of actual AP poll, I apologize. Indiana's eighth, 8-0, I think
Hmm.
9-0 on the season.
They are.
Um, wow. Well, they're having one heck of a year, you
It's
know.
looking like Ohio State is going to be the deciding factor. But I will say this: if they don't beat Ohio State, I feel
Yeah.
like how much they lose by will determine a lot. That makes sense.
No, I
But we'll
completely.
see. That's kind of
Yeah,
late in the game too.
absolutely. Yeah.
But I beside Indiana and Ohio State is going to be each other's hardest game. So that will. I feel like the winner of that game is going to play Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. Um,
So we'll see how
with that
that
being said,
goes.
who's your favorite for the playoffs right now?
Bro, like It's got to be Oregon. I don't know. Right
So
now, it's just the
I
way they're playing.
I know I was really convinced Oregon was not going to be as good this year as they were in the past. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I mean they only got better through the transfer portal. I just
yeah,
didn't
that
have that
makes sense.
feeling, right? And then I know we've talked about that Phil Knight quote. I don't care how much money it'll take for through the NIL. I want to bring a natty here.
Yeah,
He is not joking, man.
he's not joking at all. That's what in this day and age. Unfortunately, that's what you got to do.
No, I
Doesn't matter how
know.
good you
Until it gets
recruit, how much.
regulated.
Just imagine how
I
much money you
will.
can drop on the best players.
I do want to say it's a little surprising to me. Miami's still 4 at 9-0. Um,
Who? Oh, in Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon ahead of them.
yep.
Yeah, I get it. Their schedule's
But
really bad.
we'll see what it ends up. The only other crazy thing that I am looking at because I just pulled it up is Army's now 19, and then SMU jumped to 13.
I love SMU. I don't know the way they're playing
Yeah,
football. They need to win out though. I think it's gonna be Miami SMU in the ACC championship and give me SMU to upset Miami. But we'll see how that goes. But SMU is playing lights out right
still
now.
a lot of
Just
season left, you know.
drop the bomb on undefeated Pitt this past weekend.
That they
An
did.
absolute bomb. They're like the first two teams out of the playoff ranking. So I don't know if you saw it, but did you see the playoff bracket? I want to get your thoughts on that.
I have not. Let me. I
Okay.
pull it up. You got
So,
it.
well, I did just you can check it out. I can read it to you, but I just sent it to you on Instagram because that's like the closest source I had. Anyway, so right now these aren't the top four teams, but I guess these are the top four teams. These are the top four teams. Okay, sorry. These aren't the top four teams in the playoff ranking, but these are the top four teams who would get a first round bye.
I think I'm
You
looking at it
have
right now.
you have BYU, Oregon,
Yeah.
Miami, and Georgia. So us go round by round. Who do you think?
BYU. I'm just gonna start off straight up. BYU is a
Who
little
do you
crazy to
think?
me.
Who do you think would win first round, Boise or Ohio State?
I love Boise State, but it is not gonna happen.
Yeah, I like
Nope.
Ohio State.
It's hard when you have like an NFL roster, people call it, right? That's what
Yeah,
they're calling Ohio State in college. So give me Boise. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wish I do, but give me Ohio State.
Ohio State. Indiana, Tennessee, I think would be a great game,
That's going to be a really good
but
game.
I like Indiana a little
You
bit
like
better than
Indiana?
Tennessee.
I was actually going to say Tennessee.
I
Right now,
just feel like
I think Tennessee's looking a little better. I know
yeah,
Indiana's
looking
record's
better.
still better, but I still think Tennessee's killing it.
Tennessee, okay, and
Yeah.
then Bama and Texas. I don't know who would win that game.
Bama's just disappointed me week after week
Yeah,
after week.
we'll see how Texas
Texas did
plays.
the
That
other week, but I right now I'm taking Texas personally.
yeah, I had to agree with that. And then Notre Dame and Penn State.
I want to take Penn State.
I kind of want to.
I don't think I took a single upset here, but
I hate saying this, but I kind of want to take Notre Dame in this game. I don't know
Notre
why.
Dame. Okay.
Because I just feel like
Their
if
only
they
loss is
can't
to
get
NIU,
over,
right?
yeah, and I really
So
do feel like they just had a horrible afternoon because since then they've been on a roll.
they have
But
that is true. What are they ranked right now in AP?
I
Um,
don't know.
10.
10. What about in the playoff?
In the playoff, they're
10 as well.
10 as well. Yeah, it doesn't
10 as
change.
well. Okay. I like the bro. I'm sorry. I can't trust Penn State to win big games, bro. I can't.
Yeah,
Year after
it's
year, they
fair. I
disappoint.
honestly, I'm not locking my picks in. We'll do that once playoffs actually come around.
Yeah, we'll lock our
But
picks in.
and as I've
So
obviously
then
it changes a little bit here and
But I
there.
feel like Ohio State has a
But
pretty easy game next against BYU. I think they would actually not blow them out, but I think it would at least be a double-digit game.
really,
And
okay.
then you said Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee or Indiana. I think Indiana will put a better fight against Oregon than Tennessee, in my opinion. That's why I picked them to beat
Okay.
Tennessee. But who are you thinking?
To win it all or just
No,
straight
no,
up?
no. To beat
Oh,
Oregon in the
okay. So
second round.
for BYU, Ohio State's gonna beat them,
Yeah, I
and then
agree.
I think Oregon wins whoever they. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Oregon's gonna win that game.
Oregon. Okay. Then
It's
you
gonna. I think
got.
it'll be an Ohio State Oregon matchup again. A little
Mhm.
rematch maybe.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if people want to see that, but it's gonna happen. But
I don't
and
mind. It
then
was a good game, wasn't it?
It was a good game. You're right. It was a good game. And that would be a neutral field too.
Hmm.
So you're right. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Texas, I think I think Texas will beat Miami.
I agree. I know we were just talking about how Miami's a little low in the rankings, but
Yeah.
they've really not played
It's like,
much competition, I guess.
yeah, their
Um,
offense is lights out crazy. I just feel like Texas has a better overall team, offense
no,
and
I agree.
defense.
100%. However,
And
I do
then,
like Miami a little bit. Won't lie.
yeah, Cam Moore.
He's
Then
balling. He's gonna save the
you s-
Giants.
jeez, it's
This
gonna be
one's really
so
a
bad if
toss
he
up for me
goes to
though
the
between
Giants.
Penn State and Notre Dame. So, regardless who plays, I still think Georgia's winning.
Yeah, home field, Athens. Yeah, I like that. I like Georgia. It's
Yeah.
so weird though, because Ohio State would have to play at BYU. That's so crazy to me. I don't know.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Really
Ohio State by
don't.
50. Uh, Neutral site. I feel like Ohio State would get Oregon again. Or get Oregon. Maybe I'm tripping. Neutral site. I think
I
Ohio State would
know.
get
It's
Oregon.
very hard for this one, honestly, for me.
It is really
'Cause this
hard.
could go
Pause.
major pause. That's crazy. It could really go either way. Um, it just depends who's gonna have a better day.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I'm gonna pick Oregon here though.
You think Oregon again?
As of
Okay.
right now, yeah. We'll see how the season goes. A lot of season left, but not really actually. What are it? 15 weeks, right?
Mhm. It's
Jeez.
crazy because the way we're talking right now, we would have a semifinals matchup of two teams or four teams who both of them would have already played each other with Ohio State and Oregon. And then we both said Texas over Bama and Texas over Miami. And we
Yeah.
said Georgia over Notre Dame or Penn State, who's played each
Ooh.
other. And
Ooh.
Georgia did beat Texas in Austin.
I think Texas comes back though.
You think Texas wins it? I can see that.
I'm
Georgia's been playing
optimistic
really
about
bad.
them that down there
Yeah.
in
Georgia scared me
Longhorns.
last week. Florida almost beat them. I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't watch, but I saw the scores.
Yeah,
Like up to it.
Florida almost beat them. So I'll have to
Um,
take Texas then.
so for
I
me,
don't know.
that's
I
a
feel like
Texas, Oregon, Natty.
Texas, Oregon. Yeah, I think Texas makes it to the Natty and Oregon, Ohio State. It's maybe Ohio State and Texas wins it all. I don't know. We'll see.
As of right now, though, for me, I think I'm gonna walk out there with Oregon winning it all.
Yeah, I mean they're looking like the
They've
best
looked the
team right
most complete right now to this
now. Yeah,
point in
they're
the
most
season.
consistent. They're beating good
Yep.
teams. What more do you want them to do?
No, exactly. So I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, I keep saying a lot of season left, but there's 5 weeks left after this week.
Yeah,
So
there's not a
we are in
lot.
week 10. No, week 11. I
Wait,
apologize.
I'm about to say, wait,
We
there's
are in
like
week
four.
11. Oh my God. Jeez.
Yeah, this is going by really fast.
So
Thank God when college ends, we'll still have NFL.
yeah, for a little bit. Um, I do want to say the Pistons did get their first win the other day. Shout out Detroit. We're so back. No.
against against or they got their first few wins. Were they like the past three games they went 2 or 3 because they beat
Yeah,
they or were they 3 or 4 because they beat
they're winning right now too. Against the
they
Hornets,
beat
but
Philly
they beat the Lakers and they beat the Nets, and that's the
and I
first
thought they
two
beat
wins.
Philly way back too or
They
no
did.
they didn't
Yep,
beat Philly.
yep. I just meant like
So
in a row.
they're
That's
they're
so
three
yeah.
or four
In
in
the
the last four
in the
games.
last 4 games, they're 3-4.
That's actually kind of surprising. I didn't see that coming.
Eh. And then the loss in that stretches to the next. So,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
yeah. Listen, the Knicks are pretty good. So
Yeah,
you got this
but
next part.
going back to college football, it's like I feel like there's in looking at the top in the rankings at least, the if you look at the top 10, you have Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana, who are all in the Big Ten. That's four teams, and you have Georgia, Texas, Tennessee,
Texas
and
A&M.
Bama's 11, who's and yeah, Bama's number 11. I guess an outside looking in, but in terms of the bracket, you have four teams in the Big Ten, four teams in the SEC. Now, obviously, this debate probably more in the past 10 years, and I don't think in the early 2000s, not it wasn't much of a debate, but I feel like in recent history has been more of a debate about Big
Yeah.
Ten, SEC, who's a better conference, more competitive. Obviously, now you have with the conference realignment, teams like Oregon are in the Big Ten now.
Yep.
teams like Texas are in the SEC now. Who do you think is the? I'm asking two questions. Who do you think is the
Okay.
better conference? And who do you think is the more competitive conference? So I think I have two different answers for this, honestly.
I'm gonna start with the more competitive first.
Yeah,
I still think the SEC is more competitive.
I agree.
You got teams like Georgia. You got right now with a good record. You have Georgia, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Texas, LSU, and then Ole Miss and Bama. Right? You can
Yeah,
even say Vandy's 3-2 as well this year. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong. You have the bottom of the bottom with like MS State, Kentucky, Auburn,
yeah.
Oklahoma, even, all one team or below, or one win or below right now.
Mhm.
But I just think at the end of the day, it's hard to say because the Big Ten expanded a ton, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Oregon coming in is huge for the Big Ten, and USC was supposed to be, but it's kind of fizzled out for them. But
Mhm.
looking at the Big Ten, right? You got it's crazy to say Indiana, right? Um,
Every
crazy.
team in the Big Ten, every team in the Big Ten is in the top 10 in the rankings right now. All
That is
four.
true.
So
But I don't know. I feel like the teams that have come over have underperformed, other than Oregon,
yeah.
because Washington's 3-3. I'd say they're underperforming. Um, UCLA is obviously UCLA, and then USC is obviously really underperforming for the new. I'm just talking about strictly new teams. Um,
It's
but in terms of
garbage.
competitiveness, I want to say the SEC is still more competitive.
I agree. They have more teams in the top 25. I think that, those all those teams, even though they're not condensedly in the top 10 or top 15, they're still ranked, still hard environments to play in. I agree. I completely agree. SEC, in my opinion, is more competitive. But in terms of the quality of the teams, I think the Big Ten, it's like, and to again going back to the SEC more competitive, it's like the Big Ten has those four teams: Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana. Then there's just a huge drop
And
off,
Michigan State.
bottom of the barrel. There's just a huge, like, yeah, those four teams just way up here and then boom, drops down, like down here, like even lower.
I agree.
So
But
I think the
I feel
Big
like it's like
Ten,
that in the SEC too, though. No,
it is, but at least you have more teams ranked. I
that's
mean,
true.
don't get me wrong, the teams ranked in the Big Ten, they're good teams because they're all in the top 10. But in the SEC, they're not all in the top 10, but you have three more teams who are still ranked, if that makes sense.
Because I'm looking right now at the standings. There's only five under 500 teams in the SEC, where in the
Mhm.
Big Ten it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Jeez, so that might be the most competitive and the better conference. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if we're going to talk about just in general in college, not just football, it has to be the
Yeah.
Big Ten, right? Big Ten
Yeah.
hockey, Big Ten basketball, Big Ten football,
Yeah, I agree.
all top tier. I'm sure it goes for other sports as well. I know Michigan State won the women's gymnastics last year. Um,
Mhm.
I know our softball teams are pretty good normally. Um, but regardless, I think overall in all of sports, it's Michigan State or not Michigan State, Big Ten.
I
I
wish.
wish
I
it was Michigan
wish.
State, man. Oh my God.
I wish it was Michigan
I wish
State
it'd be
too.
gonna be crazy expensive. That was the case though.
Jeez.
Um, but yeah. Let's move on to our picks for this week, yeah?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
See if you can
So
catch up.
yeah, yeah.
No
This would be the
Hines.
week to do it because I don't even know how many one, two.
There's a lot. Sorry, guys. We're Big Ten
Eight,
biased.
18 games on the slate this week. Oh my
Let's,
goodness.
let's do it.
All right. You want to read them off or you want me to read them off?
I'll read them off. So I'll let
All
you get
right, I
the.
like it.
Okay, let's go. Iowa at UCLA. Iowa coming off a win. Wisconsin. UCLA coming off probably a loss to some team. Who you got?
I love that. Iowa.
Iowa. I agree. Give me Iowa.
I don't think that one's really much
Uh,
of a debate.
Yeah, Caden Johnson, that running back, a dog. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
Michigan State, I think, is the only team to hold him over under 100 yards this year. They're either the one team or one of two teams. Believe it or
I'll
not.
take it. I'll take it.
Believe it or not. Number 4, Miami traveling to Georgia Tech. If you remember from last year, Miami called the most god awful play. I don't remember that last year. They didn't take a
Um,
knee. They turned the ball over like the final 10 seconds. Georgia Tech scored and won the game like the last like 5 seconds. It was crazy.
okay.
Rematch, Miami, number 4, travels to Georgia Tech. Who you got?
Give me the U. I like it.
I'm going. No, I'm joking. Give me
I
the
was
U
about to
too.
say, wait a minute.
Give me the U. Give me Miami. They're not gonna happen again. They have Cam Ward, and hopefully Cristobal has learned his lesson. Give me the Hurricanes. Going
Yep.
on to our next game, you have God awful. They gave Georgia. They gave Georgia a fight. You have Florida traveling to Austin, going to number 5 Texas. I think we're both going to pick the same team here again.
This is an easy pick, really, Texas. I put it on because I mean it's a lot of like now that we're in conference, I kind of tried to strengthen up the picks because it's
Yeah,
in conference games. They should be better quality games. These first few, the last two, I guess, not so much, but I'm also gonna rock with Texas.
yeah, I would rank with Texas. It sucks too because it's like if the conference realignment happened like early 2010s or late 2000s, this would be like such a great
This would
game.
be
But
insane.
unfortunately, it's
Oh
just
my,
not the
could
way.
you imagine like if realignment had happened
I know a
10
while
years ago?
ago.
I
I
mean,
know.
like it's weird because now we're kind of backtracking here for a second, but um Auburn, right? Great example. They were good, right?
They made it to a championship
They
last
Cam
BCS.
Newton, they had the greatest game-winning touchdown ever with the kick six. Um, but now they're
Second
like
greatest.
bottom of the barrel. What's first for you? I know what's first for you. I don't know why I asked that. It's a great play. Um, for those that you don't know, he's talking
Yes,
about
trouble with
Michigan
the
State.
snap.
He was talking about Michigan State and the kicker, punter,
Hunter.
punter for Michigan having trouble with the snap, and Michigan State having an excellent situation that they just
Yeah,
fell into the lap.
in my
Game
opinion, I
winner.
just think that's yeah.
I miss when the rivalry was like that. I really do because it was that game was hype. Anybody. I just miss when it was competitive.
Yeah,
'Cause now it's kind of been but no, back to my point is like Auburn's bottom of the barrel right now in the SEC. I think they're like one of the like second or third last in the SEC, and they used to be
Thank you, Peyton Thorne.
top tier. Yeah, it's just I'm just saying it's crazy how like, if you think about the realignment happening 10 years ago, how different it would be.
Yeah, I agree. But
And on that
maybe
note,
hopefully one day it'll get back to that. We'll see.
yeah,
Here you have Big Ten action. The Golden Gophers of Minnesota traveling to uh Piscataway, I think is where they play. Because I actually flew to the stadium, Rutgers Stadium too.
oh,
Piscataway, New Jersey to take on Rutgers. Who do you got in this game?
this is actually a good game, I think.
I think so.
I don't know who I'm picking here. I'm
I know I'm picking.
You know who you're picking. Well, I don't know who I'm picking. So let me
All
go
right, I'll
first
go
then.
first, guys.
No, I don't
I'll
want to
go
seem like
first.
I'm copying you, Evan.
You're good, bro. You might need to pick up the
Okay,
pace. Give
okay.
me
No,
go to
no, give me Rutgers.
Minnesota.
End the
Min-
conversation for me. Rutgers.
Okay, perfect. Minnesota coming off a win to Illinois. Rutgers has been absolutely garbage fire since starting off like 4 or 5-0. Give me Minnesota.
I knew
Roll
I
the
picked.
boat.
Yeah.
PJ Fleck. Roll the boat. All right, here we have
Oh,
Syracuse, Honda McCord taking on Boston College, a team Michigan State should have beat. But
shut
I
up.
don't talk about that. At Boston College, who you got?
Give
This
me
is interesting.
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I'm gonna take Syracuse. I after watching a team like Michigan State play Boston College and it being a game they should have won, I just lose respect, right?
Yeah.
So give me Syracuse.
Okay. Give me. Yeah. Yeah. Boston College, their last win,
Uh-oh.
September 28th against Western Kentucky. Since then, they have lost to Virginia, Virginia
Yep.
Tech, and Louisville, and they'll lose to Syracuse this week. Absolutely
Jeez.
just garbage fire. Yeah, I know, really bad. They haven't beat a Power Five team in a minute besides Michigan State. So give me Syracuse as
Yeah.
well.
All
Yeah.
right. Nice, nice.
We have Georgia, a big game this week, traveling
Says
to the SIP, Ole Miss. Who do you have?
this one's a little tougher. I won't lie. Ole Miss is a great team. I
Yeah.
am around the hype. Said I was on the hype for Ole Miss after a couple games ago for them, but it's at the end of the day, it's still Georgia, right? You're not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna beat Georgia, so I'm gonna rock with the Bulldogs.
Jackson Dart threw for like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns against Arkansas last week was absolutely
Jesus.
insane. I have Georgia bouncing back after a really bad game against Florida. I think they'll bounce back and beat Ole Miss. Let's just skip this one. This is unanimous. Michigan is not walking into Bloomington and beating Indiana. We're not going to talk about that. Here we go. Iowa State took their first loss last week. They were undefeated against Texas Tech at home. They travel to Kansas. Who do you have?
I just want to look up real quick so I know where I'm because Kansas was good last year. I haven't
They were
followed
good
too
last year.
much.
Too bad last year's isn't this year.
Yeah,
Kansas is
yeah.
absolute dog water. I'm going to take the Cyclones in this game.
Ooh.
Kansas is really
They've
Kansas is really
other
bad.
than the Houston game, it's all been essentially a one-score game that they've
Really?
lost. Yeah, because they lost we'll start from the 7th. It was 23-17.
Mm.
Lost 23-20, lost 32-28. This one's a little more. TCU, they lost 38-27. Arizona State is 31-35. Houston, they got blowout. And then Kansas State was 29-27.
Okay,
So
they've been keeping it closer than I
these
thought.
are close
Not, not
games. I wasn't sure. I'm surprised. The Houston game one surprised me a little bit. I won't even lie. But it is
yeah,
closer than I thought.
but no
But at
cigar.
the end of the day, it's not going to be close enough for the Cyclones.
Yeah, they'll probably keep it close again, but I think Iowa State wins too, so I'm on the same page of that.
Yep.
Clemson at Virginia Tech. Clemson coming off a loss to
Mhm.
Louisville last week, their second
I'm
of the
here for
season.
Louisville, man. I told you last week. I think I got that one right.
Yeah, you did. You
I've been
did. They
picking
coming off a
Louisville.
loss to Louisville last week, their second loss of the season. First loss to Georgia at the beginning of the season. Virginia Tech's very daunting place to play. Um, who do you have? I got to see if it's a night game or not.
I don't think it is. I think it's a mid-afternoon, in all honesty.
Yeah, 3:30. You're right. It's 3:30.
Um, I'm gonna take Clemson here. I agree. Virginia Tech is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Clemson's been underperforming in recent years since essentially Trevor Lawrence left, but I still think Clemson's gonna take a win here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see Virginia Tech's pretty bad, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go Clemson, bounce back after a loss. Rivalry, I think.
It is.
Duke, it is okay.
Yep. I
Dang,
know that
Duke's.
because of my NCAA dynasty with NC State.
You know what it's called? What's the rivalry called?
I do
Or
not
do
know what it's
you?
called. It doesn't say. It just says rivalry game
Anyway,
for it.
battle for North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know if UNC's in this, but Duke traveling to North Carolina State. Who do you have?
You go first on this one.
Duke.
Two.
They kept a really close game with Miami last week. I was surprised and shocked by that. Miami pulled away toward the end, but I like what I saw from Duke before
So
them going. So I'm gonna go Duke at this with this game.
wait, I was trying to look up what it's called. Hold on. Okay, it's called. That can't possibly be right. Okay, it's called the Tobacco Road Rivalry. Apparently, but it's weird because some of it's saying it's NC State, and then some of it's a three team rivalry. Okay, that makes sense. It's between
Wow.
UNC, Duke, and NC State.
Okay, so
Okay,
one third of the Tobacco Road rivalry this week, Duke at
yeah,
NC State. I'm
all right,
still
that'd be
taking
2/3 technically, right?
two. I
Because
mean,
Duke,
yeah, Duke,
yeah,
NC State. Yeah, you're right. I'm
it don't
tripping.
matter.
It's
Give
two.
me Duke. On that note,
Give me, yeah, I'll take Duke. Yeah, Duke, NC State, NC State, NC State. Or no, it's one third because Duke, NC State, UNC, then UNC Duke.
oh, I thought you meant like team. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, right. I'm tripping. But yeah, go. Yeah, Duke, you're still Duke. All right. This is a big game. Huge
This
Big
is
12 implications on this game. Zach, I might have to pull my reverse psychology card out for this one because I really do
ooh,
want to see Colorado win.
ooh, okay.
Traveling to Lubbock, at Texas Tech isn't the easiest place to play. Colorado is coming off of a bye, though. They are ranked
Yep.
20th in the college football ranking.
21st.
Oh, 21st. I think it's the AP, but either 20th or 21st. But
Yeah.
I got like I said, I want Colorado to win. I think they will win, especially coming off the bye, getting people healthy, giving Travis a break.
Of course.
Uh,
It's kind of crazy. I don't think I've really picked any upset here. Or you. I don't think we have any
yeah,
upsets going on right now.
and that means it's gonna be a lot of them. Uh,
Normally, yeah.
give, yeah, Texas Tech, Texas Tech. Let's go Texas Tech. I think Colorado's gonna win. As reverse psychology, I want them to win. Yeah, give me Texas Tech.
I'm not using your reverse psychology. I think Colorado's just gonna straight out win. So give me Colorado. I don't think they need the reverse psychology.
Will win, no.
Huh?
They probably will win though.
I don't think they need your reverse psychology. I think they just pulling out the win anyway.
Texas Tech isn't bad.
Huh?
I don't know. Maybe they'll stay on the roll. They beat undefeated Iowa State last week. I'll stay with Texas Tech. I'll stay with Texas Tech.
Okay.
I gotta put a little diversity in the picks. That's our second. It's our second pick where we pick different teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a good one too.
I
Both
know.
teams coming off a win. Well, South Carolina's coming off of a big win. Vanderbilt has just been rolling this season, honestly. Um, South Carolina travels to Vandy. Who do
Yep.
you have?
I'm not sure who's the favorite here.
Let me
It's
see.
probably Vanderbilt because they're at home, though. That's typically how these things kind of work. Um, I'm gonna take Vandy, actually.
Vandy.
Yep.
South Carolina is a 3.5 point favorite.
Ooh.
Maybe Vegas knows something, so I'll take South Carolina. Coming off a big home win against A&M last week. I'll take South Carolina over Vandy, but Vandy has been looking really good, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won this game.
Yeah. No, it could really go either way. That's gonna be a great game this week.
Yeah, Oregon's gonna beat Maryland. Let's
Yep.
move on to Notre Dame and Florida State, which I think we both know Florida State's absolutely dog water too. Notre Dame's gonna beat Florida State as well. I hope you
Yep.
can agree with that.
Unanimous pick there.
Yeah, a big game, a rivalry game in
This
the
is
SEC.
this is a big
Bama,
one.
number 11, Alabama travels to 15 LSU, to Death Valley. This is a night game, ladies and gentlemen, and we
Yes.
know how night games for LSU get in Death Valley. Zach, who do you got?
We talked about it moments ago, and I say moments, and it's probably been a solid half hour at least at this point. But Alabama has continued to disappoint me week after week after week, and I think they're going to continue to disappoint. I'm rocking with LSU this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same.
Okay.
It's just so hard to beat LSU at home at night.
Yeah.
That environment is just wicked. Alabama just doesn't look the same. They'll be knocked out of playoff contention this week, losing to LSU.
Yep.
Um, so I'll stick with that. Washington travels to Penn State, which before I knew that this was a whiteout game, I thought would be a pretty close game, but it is a whiteout game. It's Penn State's whiteout game. Give me Penn State. They'll bounce back after losing to um, Ohio State. And James Franklin will win because, Washington's not ranked and he can't win big games. So this is not too big of a game. And he has the
So
crowd help.
I didn't
So
know it was their whiteout game.
it is.
However, it did not change my pick. I was always gonna pick Penn State here. Um,
Mhm.
Washington's. We talked about it earlier as well. They're
Yeah.
underperforming like crazy this year.
Mhm.
Looks like a different program completely from what they were last year. So give me Penn State.
Penn State. The Holy War. I only know this because of college football 14, actually, not 25. BYU, undefeated BYU travels to Utah to face the Utes.
Utah.
I believe this is at night as well. Zach, who do you have?
Give me number 9 in the country, BYU winning. It's hard not to like. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Utah football, so not my.
Yeah, and it feels like to
Just
me,
gonna
at
rock with the
least
favorite.
Cam Rising, their stud quarterback past couple years, he just in his seventh year of playing college football is literally as weak as a toothpick, and he's always hurt. And they
Yeah.
can't win unless they have him. Give me BYU as well. Then you have Missouri traveling to Norman. I don't know how I know all these college football towns, Zach, but
It's kind of
Missouri
crazy. You're
travels.
you're you're firing them out, man.
And no, just
We
like
might
just
have to
rolling off
do
the
at some
tongue.
point a start bench cut college stadium graphic.
Well, oh, it's so amazing. And I know the first one we should do. Missouri travels to Oklahoma. Missouri still ranked I don't know how they're still ranked. Who do you have, Zach?
Give me Oklahoma. I know Missouri did just lose.
Good job. Good
Okay,
pick.
okay.
Good pick.
I was like, what's going on here?
Good
No,
pick.
I know Missouri did just come off a loss. I don't know that they bounced back after that loss yet, though.
Sorry, I will say this. I got it wrong. Oklahoma travels to Missouri. It's my fault, guys. But so
Oh,
Missouri will be
so
at home. Yeah, they
oh,
travel to Missouri. Uh,
might be my
does
bad.
that change does that change anything for you?
Nah, I'm still gonna rock with Oklahoma, I think.
I'm gonna rock Oklahoma as well. I'm gonna rock Oklahoma as well. Well, that concludes our picks. Zach and I have one,
That's,
two,
I think it's just two.
three. No, three, three, three.
Oh,
We have
three.
three games.
Okay.
Three games we picked different. So as you can see, Zach hopped on the Evan train and he's now trying to pick, winners because last week I went 12-2.
Yeah.
So on to the NFL, and we have not even a lot to talk about. Well, we have a lot to talk about as Detroit Lions fans.
For those of you that
Um,
don't really know, we do make notes for these videos normally. Our
yeah,
notes for this week says Lions. That's
Lions
all.
football.
That is the only
That's only
talking point.
we'll tell everyone other
There are
teams,
a
but
couple things we'll bring up when we're doing our picks, but
yeah,
in terms of strictly recapping, we're talking about the Lions this week because there's a lot to talk about. There really is.
there's a lot to talk about.
I saw maybe the worst interception I've ever seen in my life from Jordan Love.
Yeah, that was really
No
bad.
complaints. Not a
So
single complaint.
let's just review the Packers game,
Let's
which
review it. Yes, I love it.
I first of all for the Lions, massive win in my opinion. Traveling
Real
to
quick, did you
another
did you pick the did you pick the Lions though last week?
what's my
Oh,
rules at?
that's right.
What's my
Okay.
rule? Reverse psychology, and it worked. I sacrifice a pick for the team can win,
And you're
and
still up all time.
honestly,
It doesn't even
I
matter.
still, yeah, exactly. And I still thought, and I still do think that maybe besides the Bears, the Lions will, split with each team in the North. So I had them losing last week to the Green Bay. Crappy weather. It was windy.
I
The
didn't know it
the
was going to
weather
be
was
that bad of weather.
actually,
I want to emphasize
yeah, it
that.
was worse than forecasted.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You
It don't matter.
march you march into Green Bay and you essentially beat them by 17 points. They had a garbage time touchdown.
I
But
don't. We need to mention how we had a lot of things missing as well,
we
including
had
someone that
so
was ejected
much.
from the game.
Yeah, the NFL. There's so much. Okay, let's start with that. Early in the game, Brian Branch playing football, doing his job. I don't think, unless you saw something that I
No,
didn't, think being a
that
dirty
looked like
player
a
at all.
football play. You know how hard it is to stop your momentum when you're full sprint
Speed,
committing to hitting
like
someone?
full speed.
It's the fact that they called that targeting blows my mind. Like the the only thing that I get, like, okay, maybe his head was a little low, but
Yeah,
that should not have been an ejection from the
I
game.
agree. You can throw the
You know
flag
how
all day.
it's
That's
so
fine.
hard. It really is. Especially these
Yeah.
guys are typically, I know he's a safety, but typically these guys are big guys, right? It's hard for all that momentum to stop. I don't know if these refs
And
took
Sam
physics,
Branch isn't the
but it's
biggest guy
tough.
in the world either. Branch
Oh
isn't the
yeah.
biggest safety or guy in the world either. He's doing his job, and you can
Yeah.
throw the flag all you want. That's fine. I think with this
Sure.
today's NFL and stuff, a flag was probably necessary for that play.
Give him a
But
flag. Yeah.
ejecting someone that early in the game, absolutely ridiculous. And not only someone, Branch is arguably the best player on our defense now.
Oh,
You have Hutchinson now in with Kirby. Yeah, Branch, I think he's the best player on the defense, arguably. So without Branch, obviously coming into the game, still no Hutchinson, obviously, no Pascal, no Rodriguez on the. So you have key pieces missing from your
very, very
first two
crucial.
fronts.
Yes.
Yeah, very crucial. No JMO. So again,
Yeah.
you just have key pieces lost. You march into Green Bay and you beat them by 17 points in a very impressive, a crappy weather game, and the Lions did everything right.
They
It
did.
almost felt like the elements, and it was a little weird because we're known as a dome team. You know
Yeah.
that
Well, I
was
don't
that
think it's
was.
necessarily us. I think it's Jared Goff that's known as
You're right.
dome.
Jared Goff is known as a dome quarterback.
Statistically,
It proves
he,
that.
he plays worse in outdoor stadiums.
Yeah.
However,
And
however, you see those little special gloves he had on? Those are funky. I won't lie. One of the announcers called them like hamburger helper gloves. I'm like, what the?
they did call him that. They did. Tom Brady
But
did call him hamburger. He was
it don't matter.
like Jared. What are you doing?
What was it? He
Throws.
was on what, 84%
He
completion.
starts off 11 and 12. Say again. He's 11 and 11, honestly. Then obviously, a couple. But you still you win the game convincingly. You don't make the mistakes. You in a hostile environment and you just continue to do every little thing right.
Absolutely.
Golf is not you're making on the offensive side, Golf is not making dumb decisions. He's not putting the ball in harm's way. And when he's making these decisions, he's putting it to where the receiver can get it. That touchdown by Amon Ra,
Yeah.
gorgeous pass. In the rain, Zach.
First of all, wait,
Can
wait,
never
I'm
make
glad
that
you brought up Amon Ra because 30 of the last targets to Amon
30.
Ra have been completions. That
Complete
is
30 of 30.
doesn't he have
Insane.
more touchdown catches or something than dropped passes this
Yes.
season?
Another
Which is
stat, by the way,
crazy.
guys. Another
That's
stat. Just
I do
absolutely
want to mention
ridiculous.
before we get off the topic of Jared Goff real quick. I saw this stat. In any 6-game span in NFL history, Jared Goff has the highest completion rate and the highest passing rating. The
That's like
completion rate is
dominance.
82.8%, and the passing rating is 140.1.
Mhm.
We are witnessing an MVP
History.
type season. We really are.
Yes.
We were talking about this earlier in the week. I think I forget which day. It might have even been after the Lions game. He needs to be the favorite.
I agree.
Just because he's not actually, he is kind of mobile now that you think about it.
Mobile
He has a
golf.
receiving touchdown on the year,
First,
right?
you have mobile golf against Arizona. He showed off those reels. You
He
had
did.
hand or wide receiver golf against Seattle, and now you have any weather golf was showing against it. What can't he do right now? Now, like I said, it's just they did everything. The biggest thing about the Lions, they didn't do anything wrong. Every
Yes.
ball, the Packers they had 6 drops. They had 3 messed up snaps and a couple of fumbles. It's like
At one
it's
point in
just like
time, the announcers were saying that the Packers had more messed up snaps than the Lions had drops or something
exactly.
like
That's
that's a crazy stat to
ridiculous.
finish the game with.
And we're just witnessing. It's kind of hard to believe because it's coming from a team who just a few years ago was 1-13,
Yeah, we were
or
tied for the
or
worst
3 and
record in the
3 and
NFL.
13, 3-13-1 a few years ago. And it's just like I don't know
It's
what it is
unreal.
that, but
It really,
it's hard to believe. It's
I,
unfathomable, honestly.
I think I was talking with Cole the other day actually about this. It's weird being this invested in football for me. And I know that
I agree.
that sounds weird, right? I've played football all my life. What I mean is I've never had my football team in my life do this good,
Yeah,
right?
we've done
Like
good. We've
we
seen
are we
Lions teams have
are a
done.
great team. It's insane to say because if you've looked at all the seasons we've had, right? We lived through the whole Calvin Johnson era with that amounted to nothing, right? We lived through
Yeah.
prime Ndamukong Suh. We lived through prime all these guys, and it resulted
Mhm.
in nothing. And here
Yeah.
we have a team that I would even argue at like looking at individual players, we're not better in everything than the past Lions teams.
Yeah. But
But
as a
the,
team,
it's meshing. It's
it's just
a good team
it's
chemistry goes a
it's
long way.
it's perfect. It's perfect. As a team, it's
It
perfect.
is.
And it's like it's not. Yes, we've never seen a team like we saw last year make it to the NFC Championship. We have seen playoff teams. They made it to the playoffs. They lose
Of
in the
course.
first round. Yeah, we get that. But
Look at what
this
Jacksonville
team
Jaguars
on
did with Blake Bortles a little while ago,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. This team on all cylinders is just firing. And right now, Zach, the only it's hard to believe, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the only team that can beat us is us. And it doesn't look like that's gonna stop
No,
anytime soon.
I know.
Dan
We had this whole
Campbell,
conversation the other day. I agree
yeah.
completely.
Dan Campbell I think, in my opinion, has the best relationship with his players and the tightest grip in the locker room than any other coach in the NFL has. The
I don't even
players
think it's close.
love him. The players love each other. And I think outside of their performance, which is stellar, that having those behind the scenes interactions and that locker room presence of him and the players with each other, that's what's causing us so much success as well. I want to throw some stats for you real
I
quick.
agree.
In the last 6 games, Gibbs, every time he touches the ball, he's averaging 6.5 yards per carry.
You know
Golf,
what
to
they
your
taught
point,
us? They taught us
what
3 yards a carry. That's what
is
you were
good. He's
raised on,
doubling
right?
that.
Is if
You
you can
you
get
give
three
the ball
yards
to
as a
Gibbs
running back,
twice.
you are a
On
good running
average,
back.
if you give the ball to Gibbs twice, he's going to get a first down. Let that sink in. To your point, 30
I
for
love it.
30 to St. Brown. Golf, to your point, 80% with 141 QBR. Now, this is what really got me, and this is how I know like what we're doing, and the why I said the locker room and all this stuff, and not shooting ourselves in the foot, which Michigan State does every week. We in the past two games, so that's the Titans and the Packers. We have been outgained in total yards, 827 to 486 in the last 2 weeks. Titans and Packers. We've beat both teams combined by 48 points.
Okay, okay. Well, the stat
That's 7 touchdowns.
that stat kind of makes sense because if you remember the Titans game, we started like midfield at least every single possession. It
But
really wasn't
just
close. But
how
I'm
does
not discouraging. I'm not discounting it either. I'm just
yeah,
saying
how does that happen?
you got to put into factor that we started with insane fielding position
I
an
yeah, I'm
entire
not
game.
disagreeing with you. Yeah, yeah,
Not to
I
mention
agree.
we didn't even have fielding position for some of them because they'd return the kick, right? Like so when you put stuff like that in factor, what was the yardage?
827 to 486. Essentially,
That's
we've been
crazy.
outgained
Almost
the past
double.
2 weeks by 350 yards, and yet we beat both teams in the past 2 weeks by 7 touchdowns, which is
I
absolutely
love it.
insane.
I love it.
Absolutely insane. Now, I want to ask you this, Zach.
Yeah.
Do you think the level that the Lions are playing at right now will sustain?
It's
Because
tough.
right now, we talked about this earlier, and
We
both
did.
and I, Zach and I both, we listen to the Rico and the Valenti and Rico show a lot. They talk about
It's a great show, by
um
the way. If
a
you've not
great show,
watched,
yeah.
highly recommend.
I feel like Valenti's a bigger Zach. We both come from the East
Yeah,
Coast
those
Jersey,
coincidences
Yanks
were
and
really weird.
Giants
You were
fans.
texting.
I know the resemblance is crazy. Both went to state, Yanks and Giants fans. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy. But they were
I'll take
talking
it.
about how I'll get back to my question, but they were talking about how like if the Lions sustain how they've been playing the last 6 games, you're gonna look at it like back at them and be like, oh, I want my team to be like the 24 Lions. I want my team, we talk about that now with
Yeah,
the 85 Bears, the greatest show on earth,
Legion
the
of
99
Boom,
Rams.
right?
Oh, say exactly the Legion of Boom, the '07 Pats. Like we talk, the Lions are playing at a level where they're gonna, if they keep playing like this, they're
Yes.
gonna be like in 30 years. Gonna be, remember the 24 Lions? Like remember those? Remember that team? So, do
It's a
you
weird
think they
feeling.
can sustain what they've been doing right now,
So,
outside of winning?
yeah,
Do you think like how they've been playing, how golf has been playing, how the defense, the running backs, the receivers? Do you think they can sustain how they've been playing?
I think part of the reason we've been playing this well is because I think we talked about this as well. There's no ego in our locker room, right? It really
Oh,
it does not matter who it doesn't matter between Gibbs, it doesn't matter between Montgomery, it doesn't matter between Amon Ross St. Brown, it doesn't matter between any of these guys who's getting the ball because at the end of the day, what's great about this team is they are all on the same exact page with the goal, right? And I think that's unheard of in a locker room, right? There's always egos and always going to be butting heads. But right now, we
it's
don't
none of
have
that.
any of that, which is amazing. And
Yeah,
I think I don't know what determines how we got there. Maybe they just look for like nice people in the draft. I have no clue, right?
yeah.
But long term, somebody's gonna have to develop an ego, right? Someone I feel like at some point someone's gonna develop a you know what, my buddy, my dad. That seems to be the case with a lot of these guys. Is their dads go on Twitter or something, and they'll start talking. That's what happened with T. Higgins. His mom was talking trash online on Twitter, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh well, you know what? She's right. I am worth more." So
Mhm.
once that starts happening, then it's gonna go down the gutter, right? Because say it's
Yes.
Gibbs' dad, right? There's someone in Gibbs' inner circle. It's like, you know what? You deserve to be paid a lot more than these other guys. And if they're not gonna pay you, you need to leave, right? You're obviously gonna trust them. They're in your inner circle, and then he's gonna start to get an ego. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm just saying it's like a hypothetical. That's when
Yeah.
it goes down the gutter. And
Yeah.
additionally, we have been playing with no errors,
No,
which
no errors. That's the crazy
in
part. None.
football, in today's football, that is insane, right?
That's insane.
There's it's not feasible because at some point we're gonna have to have a mess up.
That's what I'm saying.
But it our mess up doesn't have to be as bad of a mess up as other teams.
Yeah.
So like I'm cool with us throwing a pick every now and then, or I'm cool with a fumble or whatever it may be. but I don't think it's gonna play that big of a role because the mentality and the ego our guys have is
Just bounce
it's
back.
gonna
Yeah,
be
next
bounce
play.
back. Forget
That's
about
it.
it next drive, which I
Yeah,
think is great. I just don't
I
know
think
how
we're gonna come back
long
to that.
term wise. I don't know how long it'll last,
Yeah, hopefully it
especially if we
lasts a long
start winning
time.
some serious games here.
Hopefully it lasts a long time because I haven't seen it in the past few years, honestly. But and I feel like the people with egos, thank good credit to the organization, have been let go and have been traded away and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And we
that
brought
is
in
very
people
true.
without those egos. But yeah, I think at some point we think we continue to win. Obviously, I
Yeah,
don't think we continue to win at this level. I do think we come back down to earth a little bit, and that's fine. I don't, we're not going to beat teams by 48 in 2 weeks, win by 17 in a hostile environment in Green Bay, or even win at home by, 40 points.
yeah.
But I do think, we're going to have some games where, and I think the fans need to accept that we're going to have some
There's gonna
games
be some
where
nail biters.
there's going to be some games where Jake Bates is going to kick the game-winning field goal again, or, we'll have a scoring drive to win the game, or maybe even an overtime game, or, we have to come from behind. We win
Yeah,
by a touchdown at most, 3, 4 points, and that's totally fine as long as we keep winning games. But I definitely think the way we've been playing, I kind of predicted coming into this season, coming into the season, I thought we had a harder schedule than last season. I hope you can agree with that.
I do.
I was like, I
I think I
said,
saw that we have the second hardest rest
yeah,
of
remaining schedule.
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, so coming into the season, I had the Lions at 11-6. I thought that was more than enough for a playoff spot.
I
But
would like
right
to
now,
say
the
you're
way
going to be
that
wrong.
yeah, I know the way that we're playing right now, I kind of bumped that up to 13, 14 ball games we can win.
Yeah,
So,
because
but
I
I just
wanted
feel like
to walk through the rest of the schedule with you,
yeah,
right? So this week was supposed to be a good week, but Texans are kind of falling apart, in
yeah,
all
we'll
honesty.
see.
So we
I
got
still
Lions,
think it'll
Texans this
be. I
week.
still we can't take the gas off for any team that we play. This
No,
can
no, I'm
very
not
easily.
dismissing anything.
Yeah, this can very easily go the Texans' way. But we are in a dome again, and we don't play outside until Chicago Week 16. Everyone, but continue.
So we got Lions, Texans.
Okay, winnable
Yep.
easily and winnable.
Then we got Jaguars coming to Detroit.
We see how they've been playing.
That's two. Then we go to the Colts,
We see how they've been playing as well.
and then the Bears come to us.
We see how they've been playing.
Okay. And then the Packers come to us.
That's a tougher game. Obviously, Packers are still
Okay. You
good.
gonna give it to them or no?
I'll say no. I'm still gonna stick with like splitting.
Okay, so that's
So
four. That's
give
4-1
me
right now.
yeah, 4-1. That's fine.
Then the Bills come to us.
I can't see us losing back to back week. We're gonna win. We're gonna lose either the Packers or the Bills. The Bills
Okay.
are playing outstanding right now.
Okay, so 5-1. Then we go to the Chicago.
I think that's a loss. It's gonna be cold.
Okay.
I think give me a loss.
No, that's
Yeah.
cool. 5-2. Then we go to the San Francisco for the 49ers.
Or we're gonna have. It's gonna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be to the magnitude of the Cowboys game, but we're gonna have that same mentality going back there.
So win.
Win.
Okay. So that's 6-2. And then Vikings Lions, which
We lose because we'll have the number one seed on lock and we don't play our
oh,
starters.
you know what? That's good. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So, but even still, that's 6-3, right?
That's fine. Yeah, you finish the
6-2,
game,
7-2, whatever.
14. Listen, 13, 14 wins, I think is the ceiling for the
Very
team. And
doable.
I'm more than happy with that. And I think
100%.
13, 14 wins can get you number one seed in the NFC and get you that first round bye.
Yeah. So on
And
that note, I
and
do want to transition into the picks here because we got a little
oh
bit.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get
No,
riled up, bro.
I love it. I
I
do.
love my life.
We could have an hour
We
episode about just
You
the
guys gotta
Lions.
give us some credit, bro. This is the first time in Zach and I's lives that we actually can say we have like somewhat of a great, not
Something
somewhat.
worth talking about.
Zach and I, a lot of people can't say this, or other teams. We are 20-year-old college students, and we are currently watching the greatest NFL team that our Detroit Lions ever put in the field. So let us enjoy this.
It
All
is a
right.
nice moment. So first off, we got Thursday Night Football. This is going to be a great game, I think. Bengals at Ravens.
I think it's gonna be another shootout like it was the first week. Give me Ravens though at home.
Ravens. I like it. I'm gonna not agree with you here though. Actually, no, I am because T. Higgins is not supposed to play.
Dang, Jalen Durden just got hurt his left ankle. He's out for the rest of the game against the Hornets.
Yeah, they just got out of halftime, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know,
Oh.
but
Then
I
we
hate
got
to hear it.
the beginning of the Sunday slate. Giants, Panthers, I think are in Germany.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a poop fest.
we're still punishing Germany for World War II.
I saw those
Uh,
jokes online too. What's
Pants
your
coming
pick?
off a win against the Saints.
That's true.
Giants coming off a
Bryce
loss
Young.
against the Commanders. Panthers traded away Deontay and Ming. Give me the Giants. I'm gonna rock with Zach's team for this one.
I'm a pull a 180, actually. No, I'm not. No, no. Oh my, that's twice now. Ooh. I was like thinking, I'm like, wait, I have the Giants defense in fantasy. Can't pull that 180. I need to go
Can't
full
pull,
Giants mode here.
can't pull the 180.
I think the defensive line is just gonna completely stop their only weapon left. Jonathan
Okay.
Brooks is actually healthy this week, officially off the PUP list. Ready, gonna
That's,
play.
oh, really?
Yep.
Still my fantasy team. I
Yeah,
kept
he was
them.
on my IR. I got a notification saying you have to move him. So, moving on, we got Patriots at Bears.
Patriots are awful. They lost to the Titans at home. Yeah, give me the Bears at home.
I agree. 100%. Also going to take the Bears here. Following that, we got Bills, Colts in
Flacco had
Indy.
a horrible game. Yeah, Flacco had a horrible game against the Vikings on Sunday night. Um,
It's
the other week.
crazy to me that, and people are making fun of Anthony Richardson at first, but now they're like, okay, he's not the
Yeah,
issue.
it's like yeah. So
They're just
I
dysfunctional over there.
yeah, but Bills still they look like really a powerhouse and like the
They
I
are
think it's
revamped
like
wide receiver core,
It's Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs in the AFC right now. That's gonna be a
which is
bloodbath.
so
So
funny because
that's
you and I
cool. That
both thought the Bills
they
were going to have a
can
huge fall off.
we
We
did.
thought it was going to be
And
crazy.
that's not the case. I like
No,
the
Josh
Bills.
Allen's balling.
He's balling.
Yeah,
He's playing like a top five MVP candidate right
he
now.
is. Following that, we got Vikings in Jacksonville against the Jags.
The Giants are so awful. Give me the Vikings. I hate rooting for a division rival or
I
picking
agree
them
as
to win,
well.
but whatever. I already picked the Bears, I guess.
Jaguars are
So
just not good. So,
yeah,
Broncos at Chiefs. I don't even know why I asked.
yeah. The
Um,
NFL is not gonna allow the Chiefs to lose. So
no. Falcons at Saints.
Kirko,
I love it. I
Kirko.
do. They were swag surfing. Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah,
about.
give me Kirko.
Niners at Bucks.
I would pick the Buccaneers if they had like elites Mike Evans
Anybody?
or Chris Godwin. Yeah, but
Anybody?
give me the
Anybody left?
and they put up a hell of a fight against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I will say that.
Yeah,
But yeah, give me the 49ers, even though they're traveling across the country. Yeah, give me the 49ers for this one.
I also agree.
This next game is gonna be really good. I'm gonna tune into this one.
Steelers
Both
Commanders. Yeah,
both two losses. Steelers coming off their bye.
I'll
Jane
go first.
Daniels is playing out of this
I'll go first
world.
for this one if you want, because
I'm
I know
gonna
what I
pick the
want.
Steelers. I think I'm gonna pick the Steelers.
I like that you're picking the Steelers because I was gonna pick the Commanders.
Really? All right, great. Yeah, I'll pick the Steelers for this one. I think the Steelers. Yeah, I think they help us out a little bit because the Commanders right now are the biggest threat in the NFC to
Commanders.
the
I saw some
number
posters
one
like if
spot.
you would have told me in 2020 or whatever the year was that the Commanders and Lions would be the two best teams in the NFC, I would have thought you were lying because they were
I know
arguably the
it's
worst.
crazy,
For so long.
crazy.
It's a nice little switch up.
Yeah, man, I
Um,
like it. I'll take the Steelers this one.
Following that, we got Titans at Chargers.
Titans are awful. Chargers at home. Give me the Chargers.
Who did the Chargers play last week?
The Browns.
Browns. That's right. That's right.
Then we just reached into their goodie basket and took someone. Oh, we didn't even talk about Zadarius Smith for real, but we got an edge
You
rusher,
mentioned it.
guys. He's gonna help. Not Aiden Hutchinson help, but he's better
It'll
than
be a
anything
nice
we have
little.
right now.
It'll be a nice little 1-2 punch in the
He's
time.
better than
It's definitely
anything we
going to
have
help
right now.
our pass rush
And
and help
having
us
him
in
next
pressure.
year is if Hutch can get to back to the level he's playing this year, having him back next year is going to be huge for us.
Not to mention, we got him for dirt cheap because
They're cheap.
the
We paid like
Browns had already
600.
paid majority of his contract.
They paid 11.9 million. We just have to give him like 650K. And next year he takes like an 8 or 9 million cap hit. I'll take that any
It's
day.
amazing.
Yeah.
Following that, we got Jets, Cardinals. I don't actually know. Wait, backtracking. I do pick Chargers as well.
Okay.
Now we're at Jets, Cardinals.
They're both coming off of a win. Cardinals
Yep.
at home against the Bears, Jets at home against the Texans. Oof. Go first, Zach. I don't know what I'm picking.
I'm gonna pick the Cardinals. I think the Jets are still not all there.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with you this one. I gotta pick yeah,
Yeah,
I think they got lucky last week, against the kind of hurt Texans team.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, last couple few here. Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah, Eagles look crazy. That backwards hurdle that Saquon did was
That was
probably the play of the
insane.
year. Play of the year
Insane.
so far. Yeah, give me the Eagles.
I agree 100%. I'm also gonna
And
take
I
the
think
Eagles
Dak's on
here.
IR.
Yep,
Dak's on
Dak's out.
IR. They don't CD might be out for this game.
Even
Diggs
better.
is hurt.
Is Micah
Deron
Parsons
Bland.
back yet or no?
He's either gonna come back this week or next week, but there's
Okay.
no guarantee he comes back
It
this
don't
week. So
matter.
yeah,
It don't matter. Give me the Eagles.
yeah.
Lions,
Sunday night
Texans. This
football.
is gonna be a amazing game.
That go first.
I'm rocking with the Lions. I don't know how I can't at this point, you know? You gonna use your backwards psychology here, or you gonna just be straight up?
Zach, you know how successful my reverse
We're
psychology
gonna have
has
to
been?
bust out. You're gonna have to bust out like the statistics next episode for it.
I think I
I,
do.
I want to see
My
what I want to see what
reverse,
your actual percentage is when you
my I
say it.
yeah,
But
my reverse psychology has just been absolutely insane this year. And it's crazy because I was just like, yeah, why not? Let's keep it rolling. I'll sacrifice a pick for my team can win. But
100%.
Zach, when your team wins like that against Green Bay and they play like that, it's so hard to not pick them.
So,
Detroit. Detroit. I can't. It's they've given me I feel
no,
like
I'm
they've
I'm
put
not
enough
disagreeing.
cushion. They've put enough cushion where I don't need to even look at reverse psychology anymore at
Okay.
this point.
And our final little
I really hope I don't regret that.
no,
If they lose this week,
you're going reverse psychology rest of the
I'm
year.
never picking them for our picks ever again. But
Well,
they need to take the Texans serious because the Texans can easily beat them.
I
So
agree. Next up is Monday Night Football with Dolphins at Rams.
give me your boy Stafford.
Stafford. I was gonna pick the Rams here, but how many picks we got? One.
It doesn't matter, Zach.
We
You
have
need to
one
catch up
game
to me.
different, Evan. Oh boy.
Zach, I'm sorry, bro. We have great like dang.
Oh,
I'm just saying, you know what happens when you don't pick who I pick, Zach. You kind of have you have a worse
okay,
record.
buddy. Now I'm definitely picking the Dolphins.
Okay. I'm come back to that. Clip it. Clip it for next week.
Clip it. Yeah, we'll get the mods in here. Ayo, chat. All right, now we got the last little segment here for you guys.
Yeah.
Those that does conclude our picks. Um, we're gonna try and do this more consistently. A little bit of start
Yeah,
bench
we
cut
will.
action, some more who has more, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, I'll start. I'll ask you, or do you want to ask me the start bench cut?
I actually start next time.
All right, I like it.
Your boy Kirby Joseph, Jay Curb, Xavier McKinney, and Kyle Hamilton. Who would you start? Who would you bench? Who would you cut?
So this is for safeties. I just want to make that
I
very
don't
clear.
care. You can be as biased as you
Um,
want. Because I
I'm not
think I
gonna be
will.
biased. I'm not gonna be biased. I looked at the stats earlier. I did look at the stats. So I'm starting Kyle Hamilton. Okay.
Okay.
He is
Respectable.
insane at tackles. I forget the number. I have it on my screen here. 1 second. I just gotta shoot this over. Okay. So looking at it, he is 48 tackles, right? That's not even close to the number any of these other two guys have. And he has a
Yeah, that's
forced
a
fumble.
lot.
He's a heavy hitter. He's exactly what the Ravens used to be, right? His pass, no picks though, which is why I'm starting him. Because he defends the ball very well. Um, actually, hold on. I'm gonna bench Kyle Hamilton. I'm gonna bench
Why the sudden switch up?
because I'm looking at the passes defended, right? And both of these other guys have more passes defended, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Kirby having 8 passes defended with 6 interceptions. Xavier having 6 interceptions on 7 passes defended. And Kyle Hamilton is 5 with no picks. Now, picks aren't a big thing for me, right? Because neither of them
Yeah.
have a forced fumble. But I'm gonna bench Kyle Hamilton because I at the end of the day, I think you want a ball hawk safety, right?
Yeah, I agree.
For a free safety, because that's what all these guys are. Now, if we were talking strong safety, I'm starting Kyle Hamilton because he's gonna blow someone
Yeah,
up.
great. I
But
think he's the best run defender, run
yes,
safety
I
on this
agree
list.
100%. But game on the line, 4th down to win the game. I'm gonna start Kirby Joseph.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear, Zach. That's all I wanted to hear.
We got there. It took a second. I had to pull up the stats, make sure.
So that means you're benching Xavier McKinney.
No, I said I'm benching.
I mean, you're cutting. Excuse me, you're cutting
Cutting,
Xavier
yes.
McKinney.
I'm gonna cut X, as he
Yeah.
was called on the Giants. Still has a place in my heart. Just a little less because he's on the Packers. With
Yeah,
a baggy jersey, nonetheless. That looks terrible. What you're doing? What you doing?
that looks terrible. Sorry, Xavier McKinney. But you really didn't do anything this week. One guy did in the same conditions. Kirby Joseph is the first player in NFL history since Ed Reed to produce 14 interceptions through their first 3 seasons of their
I
career.
did see that stat.
In addition to that, this year, among all safeties to be targeted 15 plus times in coverage, to your point, coverage, Kirby Joseph, first in pass rating allowed, 22.5%. First in completions allowed, 41.2%. First in interception and target ratio, 29.4%. Give me Kirby Joseph. I don't give a crap. I'll be biased. I'm a Lions fan. I don't care. Look, the stats prove it. The stats prove it. Kirby is starting. I agree. Kyle Hamilton is going to be benched, and I'm cutting Xavier McKinney because I just don't know too much about him.
Oh, that's fair. That's completely justified.
Yeah.
So
All
I'm gonna
right.
ask you this one now.
Oh yeah, let me ask me.
We'll switch.
I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to this one.
Okay, I do. That's why I'll ask. But yeah, so we're gonna go into the who has more here. It's receiving yards Falcons edition. So we got Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts. Strictly receiving yards.
London and Mooney have had a great year so far this
And
season.
Kyle Pitts is bouncing back. This whole
Kyle Pitts
after
is
the second week,
back.
third week, he's been going crazy. One year I don't have him in fantasy football.
I want to just say Drake London off rip, but I feel like it could be something else. But I'm gonna go Drake London.
Okay. That's not bad. Who's second for you?
It's gotta be. It's probably Kyle Pitts, but I'm gonna go Mooney, and then Kyle Pitts last.
Okay, so sort of there. Darnell Mooney's first with 588,
Jeez.
and then Drake London has 552. So they're right there. And then Kyle Pitts is 430.
30, okay.
So he's even still balling, I gotta say. Compared to years past,
He's having the best season of his career.
the 1 year I don't have him in football.
Should have picked him, Zach.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
But yeah. So all right, I don't know the answer to this next one. So you ask me this one.
I got you. Who has more touchdowns? I'm gonna name you 3 wide receivers here. I'm gonna stick with an NFC North foe, Jordan Addison.
Okay.
A receiver who his first 2 receivers, he's been out with his first 2 receivers the past couple of weeks. And the receiver we'll be seeing on Sunday Night Football this weekend, Tank Dell. And I don't even need to give him an introduction. JMO.
Might need to introduce
Jameson
him after the
Williams.
2-game suspension.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, after a 2-game suspension, you have Jameson Williams, Tank Dell, Jordan Addison. Who has the most receiving touchdowns?
So right off rip, I'm eliminating Tank Dell because he's been hurt.
Okay.
And I know before he got hurt, he had a slow, or no, he might not have been hurt, but I know he's had a slow start to the season.
Yeah.
I do know that for a fact. Jordan Addison, I'm not too familiar with. In all honesty, I've not seen nothing, I've not heard nothing, but he could still very well be I wouldn't. It would not surprise me if he was first or even second here.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna rock with JMO first. I mean, even with the 2 games off, he was on an insane pace, and they're all insane touchdowns too, like for a
They
decent amount
are.
of yardage. What's he got? Like
Sure.
four,
Your
five?
JMO?
I'm gonna pick
JMO is your
JMO.
JMO? What do you think? Who do you pick in second and third?
Second, I'm gonna go Addison. Third, I'll go Tank.
Okay.
I just think Tank had a slow start, so I could be completely wrong, but
I'm gonna give you a little plot twist. Well, first of all, you are correct. Even with the 2 game
okay.
suspension, Jameson Williams does have the most receiving touchdowns this year.
How many? Do you know?
Tank 3.
Three. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was
And
four.
then yeah, Tank Dell and Jordan Addison are tied
Oh,
for second, actually,
okay,
or third. They both have 2 receiving touchdowns this year.
okay.
And they've played in every single game. Just want to
That
put it
is
out there,
true.
guys. Just want to put it out there.
I
I'm
like
saying,
it.
just
I
want to put
like
it out
it.
there
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
at
Um,
all.
but yeah, so that concludes what we got for you guys. Let us know down below who you're starting, who you're benching, who you're cutting, or who you
Yeah, please
thought
let
had
us know.
more.
We're gonna be more
We'll
active on
post
social
those on
media, we
social
promise.
media for you
Yeah, we're
guys
gonna be
to
more active.
interact with you as well. Yeah, I got nothing else here, haven't you? No?
I'm good. I got my line spiel out. That's all I really cared about.
No, yeah. Listen, we were talking, I'm totally cool with the more Lions heavy focused. It's more fun to talk about. We like
Sorry,
it.
guys. We're from Detroit. All right. We're not ESPN. We're not Sports Center. We're from Detroit. All right.
It's true.
And this is our podcast. So F what you think.
Yeah. So hoping to have a guest picker on for next week. Well,
Yeah, we'll get someone on.
you'll see it if you see it, I guess, right? But listen, we'll start flowing it in, get a little more consistency in that as well. So as always, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. With that being said, see you guys in the next one. Episode 10's next.
Peace. What do you
Jeez.
say?
Episode's 10 is next.
10 next time. 10th episode
Double
next time.
digits.
Crazy.
10
Come a long
consecutive
way.
weeks of you guys
10
tolerating Evan and
consecutive
I.
weeks.
Oh my God.
You guys looking at Zach's horrible picks. I don't know how you guys did it.
Okay, okay. I'm waiting for you to bust out one of those bad takes from the lunch table.
Oh, they're coming and they're not bad.
No,
They're
you
hot. They're
normally have
hot.
them around basketball season.
They're hot.
So,
Oh, once
so,
basketball
so
season's on,
they're
hot
loading in. I like it. I
preseason.
like it. So
They're in the notes. They're in the
uh,
notes.
on that note, we'll see you guys.
Next week. Take care, everyone.
Yep. See ya.